She stood right at my locked gate, yelling like she owned the whole lake. "This property violates HOA Code 37B. You can't block community access," she shouted, waving a clipboard that looked more like a school project than an official notice. I was fixing my fence calm as ever when she slammed the paper against the bars. "Lady," I said, wiping my hands, "this is private land. You're standing on the wrong side of the line." But Karen didn't care. Her sunglasses reflected the water behind me. My sealed lakefront ranch, the one I bought after 20 years in service. She took a picture of me, muttering something about illegal construction, an environmental violation. Then with a smirk, she dialed 911. "Yes, I'd like to report a dangerous trespasser," she said, staring straight at me. My heart sank, and not in fear, but disbelief. She was reporting me, the owner. Within minutes, I heard sirens echoing across the water. My neighbors peeked out from behind their windows. Karen folded her arms, whispering to one of them. "Finally, the cops will handle this criminal." When the officers pulled up, she rushed toward them like a hero in her own movie. "That's him." "Arrest him," she barked. But when one officer stepped out, his eyes locked on me, and his expression changed instantly. "Wait, Sergeant Miles," he said. Karen froze. Her smile fell flat. I didn't say a word. I just crossed my arms, watching her face pale as the officer turned toward her and asked, "Ma'am, where exactly did you say you live again?" Karen blinked fast, trying to play it cool. I live in the lakeside community." "Right over there," she said, pointing toward the gated neighborhood a mile away. "This man is building illegal barriers. I have the HOA's full authority to act." The officer raised an eyebrow. "You have authority?" he asked. "Ma'am, this property isn't part of your HOA. This is federal sealed land." Her jaw dropped. "That's impossible. The HOA map shows this entire area belongs to our zone." I finally spoke, keeping my tone calm but sharp. "That map's 10 years outdated. This ranch was sold to me under a private veteran's deed. The lake was sealed by the state for wildlife restoration." Karen laughed nervously. "You expect me to believe that? He's lying, officer. Just look at him. He probably forged the documents." The younger cop shifted uncomfortably, glancing between us. "Do you have proof of ownership, sir?" I reached into my truck and pulled out a weatherproof folder. Inside were laminated papers, property rights, federal clearance, and my name signed by the Department of Natural Resources. The officer took one look and nodded. Karen, still not backing down, snatched her phone. "This isn't over!" "I'm calling the HOA president right now." She started pacing, loud enough for the whole road to hear. "These ex-military types think they can do whatever they want. I'll have him cited and fined before sunset." The officer warned, "Ma'am, I suggest you calm down." But she didn't listen. She walked straight past the gate and onto the ranch, ignoring the big red, "No trespassing federal property" sign. The moment her shoe hit the gravel inside, the officer's radio crackled. A dispatcher's voice came through. "Unit 12. Confirm you're at the restricted zone. That land is under federal protection." Both officers froze. Karen finally realized something was off. I folded my arms again and said quietly, "You really should have read the sign." Karen's voice shook, but her pride wouldn't let her back down. "You're bluffing." "This isn't federal land, this is community property," she shouted, stepping further inside. One of the officers moved quickly, blocking her path. "Ma'am," he said firmly, "you're now trespassing on sealed territory. Step back right now." She tried to push past him. "Don't touch me. I'll sue you and this fake veteran." That was it. The senior officer looked at me, then at his partner. "Cuff her," he said flatly. Karen's eyes widened. "What? You can't arrest me. I'm with the HOA." The officer replied, "You're under arrest for trespassing on protected land, making a false police report, and interfering with law enforcement." The whole neighborhood watched as Karen was handcuffed beside my gate. She screamed that she knew people at City Hall, and that this would all go viral. But the only viral thing was the look on her face when the truth hit. I quietly picked up the fake HOA notice she'd taped to my fence earlier. It had been printed on ordinary paper, with her name scribbled as community director. I handed it to the officer. "You might want this too," I said. He smirked. "Thanks, Sergeant. We'll add impersonating an official to her charges." Karen tried to twist the story even as they led her away. "This isn't fair. You can't treat me like a criminal." I looked straight at her and said, "You walked onto my land, called me a trespasser, and ignored the law. That's not community spirit, ma'am, that's arrogance. The crowd behind the police line murmured. Some neighbors nodded. One older man whispered, "About time someone stood up to her." The next day, the HOA released a statement saying, Karen had acted without authority. I didn't even need to press charges. The state took care of everything. I spent that evening by the lake, watching the sunset reflect off the water I'd worked so hard to protect. For the first time in months, it was quiet. I smiled to myself and said softly, I didn't serve 20 years just to be told I can't stand on my own land. Justice served. Peace restored. And one more HOA Karen exposed for who she really was. The end. Please, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing HOA stories.